out there, and here I am doing another diamond painting. This is technically the third. You never got to see the second because I took a hiatus from it and then it got ruined, so you never got to see it. And yeah, I had this one of these sections taken off, and it just we got cats, so a bunch of cat hair got on it and no longer was sticky anymore. It was a Timon and Pumbaa one. This one, I actually have no idea what it is. Wife set it up. So
you're gonna figure out in 35 seconds.
Yeah, so I have to figure it out as I go too, which is gonna be fun for me too. Rules are the same before, you know. Just put a timestamp of when you think you figured it out and your guess of what it is. Uh, there's no prizes from it. Maybe in a few years, if I'm gotten really good, maybe I'll do some prizes or something. But if I'm going to do prizes, I'm going to do a live stream one at that point. But that's years down the road when I'm actually making money off of YouTube videos. But I hope you enjoy and able to figure it out before it's completely revealed or before it becomes too easy to figure out what it is. Well, see you at the end clip. Here we are. Now, first thing I'd like to point out, I already know what it is. Well, obviously, I'm recording this after I finish, but when I first started, I'd removed that first panel. I knew exactly what it was. I mean, I had already done a different one that basically was based around this one, so I already knew. And by the time I pull off the second panel, you'll get at least a general idea of what it is. But still, put your guesses in the description or down in the comments, and we'll see if you're right by the end. Now, I will say this: it's going to be clear, at least, like I said, from the next panel coming off, that it's a Pokemon. So, since it's going to be obvious that it's a Pokemon, at least to people who are into Pokemon, I'm just going to talk about Pokemon. In fact, I'm going to do like a kind of a top 10, but see, it's really hard to do a list of really good Pokemon because there's so many Pokemon and they're all really good. Well, okay, maybe not all of them, but here's my thoughts on top 10. All right, I'm going to try to keep it as like a Pokemon line for the most part, but some of them they're the only one in their line, or not a huge fan of other ones in their line, so I'll just do like a specific one from the line. All right, first one we're going to talk about is Pidgeotto. Yes, I really love Pidgeotto. Well, the Pidgeotto line, Pidgeot, Pidgeotto. Not wait, I think Pidgeot is the final form, but one of the best flying types, if not the best, in my opinion. I mean, there are there are of course the legendary birds, but I've already got two other legendaries on this. I was like, no, I'm not going to do another legendary. So non-legendary the Pidgey line is one of my favorites as far as flying type. Now the next two, they're basically the same type. They're both steel and ghost. I tried to pick two different ghost types, but because I like the ghost types in general. Most of them are really cool. Now, what I put as number 9 is probably one of my favorites. So it's Doublade. It's part of the Aegis. The Hone Edge, Aegislash. I like Aegislash, but I'm not the biggest fan of Aegislash. There's nothing wrong with Aegislash. It's the final form, but I'm more personally, I prefer dual blades over a sword and a shield. That's my personal opinion. Now, my next steel ghost is Ceruledge. Ceruledge? It's
one of the newest ones from Scarlet Violet. It actually is a split evolution. It's got a first form that's just fire, and then there's a split evolution where it's got another form that's fire, but it might also be fire steel. Actually, this might be fire ghost. I'm not sure. It feels like it should be steel type, so I might be wrong on that. But it's really cool, and it's got two swords. I mean, how can you go wrong with that? Well, now another one. Uh, my next one is probably my favorite fairy type line, at least the line of it, the Roltz line. I mean, every one of them are pretty cute. They're either cute or cool looking, you know. Even the was it a fighting version? That's I forget its name. Not Gardevoir, but the other one. But really cool line. When the first time when I played, was it Gold, Silver, or was that Emerald and Sapphire, or Ruby and Sapphire? I forget now. No, it was Ruby and Sapphire. I played it, and I got to Wally, and it's like, oh well, that's. And then why did that pop up for him? I thought it was just it happened to pop up just for him for the cutscene. No, you could actually catch it in that same area. I didn't know that the first time I played. Now, this next one, it is a legendary, and it's specifically here to be for legendary. Well, oh, there's so many good legendary Pokemon. Like I said, I had two on here. I almost now as far as flying, the another one I almost did because again, it's probably my favorite flying type Pokemon. But like I said, I already had two legendaries on here. That would be Lugia. It's just a really cool Pokemon, and I really enjoyed Pokemon 2000. It was a great movie. But number 6 on my list, though, that like I said is a legendary. It's a legendary dragon, actually, and that would be Rayquaza. I mean, come on, if you're picking a legendary, you got to pick a legendary dragon, right? Dragons are awesome. Now, number 5, which years ago I probably would have put it higher when I was younger. It probably actually would have been my number 1 favorite Pokemon, but I still love this Pokemon, but I'm not as big on it as I used to be. It's still really cool, still one of my favorites. It's in the top 5, obviously, and that would be Mewtwo. Yes. Well, I really love Mewtwo. Mew also. I was like debating up between the two. So, but Mewtwo's always have been my favorite, as far as the legendaries go. Well, but it's here for being psychic. My favorite psychic type, not my favorite legendary, because I did Rayquaza for that one. But it's still above Rayquaza. I mean, it is one of the most powerful Pokemon. I mean, there was a time that there was no Pokemon stronger. They finally made a Pokemon stronger than it. Then they re-released Mewtwo, and well, they made him stronger than even that one or her. Is Mewtwo a girl or a boy? I don't know. I think technically it's non-binary. It has no gender. Now, the next three are going to be it's just there's no Pokemon better than these as far as starters go. Yes, these next three are starters. Well, technically these next four. We'll get to number 1, but and now it's more of the whole line rather than just the individuals. It's it's sometimes hard to pick individuals with the Pokemon, because this well, like this one, Bulbasaur is number 4. Obviously, not a lot of nostalgic because, well, the first game I played was Pokemon Red and Red. My no, Bulbasaur was not my starter. I look back now, actually, Bulbasaur is one of the more powerful of the three, probably the most powerful of the three of the starters, and it's one of the cuter ones too. Well, Actually, all three of them are cute. Let's face that. But you know, when you're a kid, you come on. Obviously, you're gonna go. I was always a firebug growing up. I mean, I never caught a house on fire, though I almost did. Whoops. But yeah, Bulbasaur is probably the Bulbasaur line best grass type Pokemon. And Venusaur, oh man, it's really powerful and really cool looking. And like I said, Bulbasaur is cute. Number 3 is Squirtle. As I said, these next 3 are starters, and I think you're getting where the issue is going to be. They're all from Gen 1. But I mean, come on, Squirtle. I mean, it's Squirtle. It's a turtle, which who doesn't like a turtle? And you know, when you get to Blastoise, oh boy, you got those 2 double big barrel cannons, and come on, you get to go for the Mega 3 big cannons. Whew. I mean, come on. How can you not enjoy the Squirtle line? And if you watch the show, the whole thing going around Squirtle, the whole Squirtle Squad stuff, that is it's just cool. I mean, he started out as a little rebel, trying to protect his fellow Squirtles and help them survive. I mean, they were considered bad at the time, but come on, they turned over. Well, can't say a new leaf. They're not plant type, but they they did become good, and they actually started helping the fire department. It was upsetting when Squirtle left Ash, but he went back to his old friends to help them out. If you haven't watched the show, you should. That's a pretty good story to follow. So the whole Squirtle line of that, and Bulbasaur too. Now, my number 2, obviously, Charmander. That was my very first Pokemon when I played the games. And as I was starting to say, but my ADHD took over. My first game was Pokemon Red, and my uncle let me borrow it. He had blue and red, and we were looking for a home, and me and my dad were staying at my grandparents. No, my parents were together at the time, but we were looking for a house up in this area that up in Ohio. If you know, yeah, I know. Try not to give too much personal information, but we were moving to Ohio, and we were staying with my grandmother and my uncle. And he was letting me borrow his Pokemon game. And before that, I didn't really like Pokemon. I had watched the first 1 episode, Goodbye Pikachu, and that is a horrible episode. Even to this day, I don't like that episode. So Charmander has a special place for me, and always will. It'll always be top 2. I don't think it'll ever be lower. And of course, Charizard, definitely. I don't care that it's not technically a dragon. It's a freaking dragon, dude. Anybody who disagrees, well, you need to get your eyes checked. It is a dragon. It looks like a duck, talks like a duck. It's a duck. Well, actually, it's more of looks like a dragon, talks like roars like a dragon. It's a dragon. So now, as far as Charmander, well, Charizard in the show, yeah, I'm not a fan of it in the show. I mean, Ash saves his life, and then multiple times, and then it's so disrespectful to him. Oh, come on, really? He's like your best friend. Why would you treat him that way? Oh, now as far as the show goes, I mean, oh, I'm holding off on number 1, trying to obviously pad out a little time. I'm not going to lie on that. As you can tell, still got 3 more panels to go. Now, as far as movies go, yeah, 2000 is one of my favorite, but actually, I think top of the movies would be Pokemon Heroes. It's the one with Latios and Latios. I don't know why, but that one just hits me just the right way. And it's unfortunately, the only thing I don't like about is Team Rocket doesn't get much of a role in it. It kind of sucks for that reason. Team Rocket is always in the movies, and most movies that I've seen, anyways, always end up helping Ash. Which I haven't seen it yet, but the final episode where he actually becomes a Pokemon master, he, he wins the championship. The only ones who apparently show up are Jesse and James. Really? Why did there where was Brock and Misty? Where were all the other people on his travels? Where was his friend Professor Oak? Which I don't know if I've talked about this before. We'll talk since I'm bringing up Professor Oak, and just another annoyance why he's not at the thing. Ash doesn't realize this. Him and Professor Oak have been friends for longer than he realizes. And in Pokemon Forever, which is definitely another really good one, he meets this kid called with the name Sammy, which you find out by the end of the movie is Sammy Oak. Yes, it's Professor Oak, but he's a kid. Celebi has this time travel ability, and that's the main Pokemon from that movie. And he brought Sammy to the future accidentally, trying to escape a Pokemon hunter. And well, yeah, it is. But apparently, Professor Oak never tells Ash about it. I looked it up. It's like, really? Because apparently they wanted to keep the movies and TV shows separate, so they can be their own, like kind of their own thing. But I don't think that really works. But yeah, Professor Oak actually has known Ash since he was a kid, so and he obviously knew that Ash was going to get Pikachu. He probably had it ready. Now we're uh, we're on to number one. Now, since we got the final panel off, well, not the final panel, but next to the final panel, if you notice, that's Sylveon. Well, guess what? Eevee is my favorite line. And here's why. It reminds me of my kids. How does it remind me of my kids? Well, just like Eevee, my kids have all kinds of potential. I mean, all kids do. And, well, I mean, Eevee can be almost anything, and so can kids. And I love my kids. Now, as far as which is my favorite evolution, I'm gonna have to say Umbreon. I think it's Umbreon, the dark type one. It's the coolest looking. However, Sylveon, which you know is like one of the most powerful of them all, but Jolteon is Bratman's favorite, but also I think Umbreon's also Bratoni's favorite. And I think he specifically likes the shiny the best. I'm torn between the two. They both look so cool. Radicus, well, I'm not sure which of the evolutions is her favorite. I know the wife is Sylveon, but I know when we were playing when four of us we didn't have the youngest Bratman doing this because we were playing Scarlet Violet and doing a little challenge with each other. Didn't know if Bratman would be able to handle it if he happened to lose, so we didn't want him to go through that. Basically, after every gym, we'd battle each other. Well, we only had a switch and a switch light, so we two of us used the switch and two of us used the switch light, and yeah, whoever won got to pick a Pokemon from the other person's line, and they would have to use that till the next time we battle. Now the loser could use whatever they wanted. They didn't have to keep, the Pokemon that the other person made them use. But it had to be. But yeah, so all right. Well, there's only a minute left of this. Get back to you with the outro. I just realized I didn't mention which one I think my daughter used Sylveon and most of her playthrough on when we were doing their challenge, and she was luckily I didn't have to fight her, but my wife and Brett Tony did, and they kept losing to her because of Sylveon.
Here we are with the finished diamond painting. And did anybody guess it right? It's Eevee and Sylveon, or Eevee evolving into Sylveon. Something like that. uh, I figured it out really early on because I've already done a Leafeon one. Now, if you remember right, this is actually like a couple months after my original shooting. We rearranged, and I had trouble finding a place to work on it. So, for you, it's only been a few minutes. For me, it's been a while. But wife had set it up, and I didn't know what it was at first. But as soon as I removed the first panel, I knew what it was because, like I said, did Leafeon. Which, if you go back into my other Guess That Diamond painting, should see it because I believe I showed all my past diamond paintings I had done before this. I'm actually working on another one that the wife started. I was finishing it for her. I'll put it in my posts when I'm finished. Since I've already started, I'm not going to do a Guess the Diamond painting on that one. But it's actually a pretty cool one. Alright, till next time, have fun out there.